All right, hello everyone. Sorry for the delay. I am here now with with Derrick from Dewdy Does, and I went ahead and sent him a copy of Samurai Slaughterhouse last week. So we're gonna go ahead and just chat a little bit about that and video games, VR in general. Welcome. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Oh, doing good as well. Yeah, having a good week. I just had lunch with the guys. With one of the guys from what was it? You know, a barbarian game. It was called
Oh, cool.
Barbaria. Yeah, it's on the Oculus store right now. I think they're trying to get it up on Steam. So I just had lunch with them. Cool guy.
Very
How's your
cool.
week going?
It's been going pretty good. Aside from like probably about 80 to 90-degree days.
Oh,
Very hot. But but other than that, it's been good.
nice. Yeah, been trying to keep cool here too. What you been playing this week?
Um, I have just been hopping around, was playing a little bit of the super hot mind control delete.
Nice, love that
Um,
one.
yeah, it's gonna be taken off Game Pass before I can finish it, but I'll get it in the future. Um but playing that, playing the Samurai Slaughterhouse. And then I think I hopped on to Boombox for a little bit.
Oh,
Somebody
what's
had
that?
mentioned you could play the one-handed mode with your left hand if you also turned on the mirrored modifier at the same time. And so I had to go check that, and they were right.
Nice,
So, yep.
pretty cool. Yeah, I picked up the Evil Dead game that came out. I've been enjoying that. It's pretty good. Surprisingly,
Ooh,
I bought it and just because it's Evil Dead. I love Evil Dead so much, and I really didn't expect it to be that good, but it's actually really good. So I've been
yeah,
enjoying that.
it looks fun. It looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's good. Like good tribute to the movie, and they actually has decent gameplay. So I was pretty surprised. It was pretty neat. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it, man. Yeah, what did you think about trying out Samurai Slaughterhouse out the demo? How did it work for you?
I was very happy. Um, I actually ended up doing the PC build mainly because I'm not the most, even though it's probably easy to make your Oculus account into like a dev account and sideload and do all that. I've never been comfortable doing it. So I played the PC VR build. It ran well. Through virtual desktop, it didn't run. It ran pretty good.
Nice.
Um, and yeah, I was just having fun. My hand almost became a casualty on my nightstand. We'll not talk about that. Uh,
Yeah,
but I
that's how you
was
tie your
very
game to
happy
it.
when I loaded it up, and one of the first things was to say whether you're playing standing or seated, whether you're using default controls or you're a southpaw, or whether you want, snap turning, smooth turning, all that stuff. And I was so happy to see that right out of the gate before you even got into the game because that stuff's important. Is
Nice.
but
Yeah, glad
I,
you enjoyed that. Because when I was making, I was just thinking like, what do I put as a default settings? Do I take the hardcore, VR people into hard, or do I, take the newcomers? And I'm like, you know what, forget it. Let's just let them decide. Like throw it out there, let them
yeah,
go ahead and
yeah,
pick, and just get it right in this from the beginning. Don't make them play through the tutorial before they they can change the settings.
yeah. And when that came up though, and I was able to pick everything right at the start, it made me think of, I think the only other VR game I think that I've played that had that right at the beginning before gameplay was what was it? I'm drawing a blank now. Zombieland Headshot Fever.
Oh, nice. I haven't got a chance to play that one.
Yeah, like as soon as you start it up, it's like, are you playing standing or seated? And are you left handed or right handed? Just right at the start. Other than that, it's an on rail shooter. So you don't even have to worry about the turning.
Nice. How did it or what kind of GP you got in your build? I'm curious. You said it like it ran well, which you're kind of surprised. So what do you got
Um,
rocking right now?
Weirdly enough, I have a 3 gig 1060.
Nice, nice, and yeah, I'm glad to hear that like it ran well because we do got it pretty well optimized. A little more for the quest. We got some extra step time for the PC, but I'm glad it still ran well. We got on the
Yeah.
PC we got the extra shadows, and it also allows something called forward rendering, which gives us a little more leeway with the effects. You
Hmm.
can see like kind of like shadows like underwater and a few other little things like that that we couldn't get away with on the quest. We able to throw it on the PC, so it's a little bit nicer.
Yeah.
As you like the gameplay, um,
I had a lot of fun with the gameplay. Just swinging and being like, how can I stab them now? Like going either just right straight forward, or I think I even just stabbed one right in the top of his head, or just slashing and seeing what happened. Um, that's how I almost hit my hand on my nightstand. Uh, but yeah, I was just messing around. Um, and the other things involving the gameplay, the teleport system that you use to climb is really. I ended up doing that by accident. It was like, how the heck did I do that? And then it got explained to me, and I'm like, oh, so that's what I did. Okay. Um, but yeah, I had fun for the bit that I played. I wanted to play more today, but I didn't get around to it because I had to fix stuff with my mic and make sure everything was working as well as I could get it.
nice. Yeah, yeah, it's been pretty fun. I'm not. This week's update is gonna be pretty big. It's gonna coming out tomorrow. I'm actually getting some new like ability masking, including one was pretty cool. I think you like. I'll send you a new build, but it's actually inspired by Super Hot. So when you put the mask on, everything moves the same speed as like your hand. So
Oh,
you kill like
nice.
the enemies in slow motion. It makes like the throwing stars like so much more fun to use, and the enemies die. There's like the blood
Oh,
is
that
just
is
coming out
cool.
in slow motion. Like, oh, it's great. Like, it makes the game so much more fun. Like, which that was something I've always wanted to do. I always wanted to just steal the mechanics from Super Hot because it's just such a good game. So I was like, let's just do it. Let's just do
Oh,
it. So yeah, now it's another ability mask that you could wear, and it gives you that. The build you have right now, there's one ability mask that lets you teleport farther, but that one only comes from like a random item from the chest, so it's pretty rare. And not
yeah.
everyone finds it like right away. Yeah, and you know what I actually finally tried like recently was Blade and Sorcery. I just got that a couple weeks ago. I've been having fun with that. That's a pretty good one.
Oh, I haven't played that one yet.
Oh no, it's pretty good. Like it has a lot of people compared my game to it, so I was like, let me go ahead and try it. Like it's pretty good. Like it has really good like physics on it. The the I would say the physics are probably better than like Samurai Slaughterhouse. What's cool about that game is you can actually grab the people while they're still alive. So if you're like quick about it, you can actually grab their wrists and make them like hit themselves with their weapons. It has like a slow motion button, and like the slow motion kind of like recharges. So you do it. The one thing, my one critical feedback about it was that I feel like the enemies in it are kind of like victims. They kind of like sort of let you like kill them, which I think in Samurai Slaughterhouse what kind of makes a difference. Like the enemies are a lot, a little more challenging, maybe a little too much, but yeah, a lot harder. Especially when you get farther in. I added these ninja enemies, and I just recently increased their like dodging ability, and they're like almost impossible to hit. So I may like crank them down a little bit. Yeah, anything you're excited about coming out soon or?
Um, I don't know about any that are coming out, but I know I still need to get my hands on Resident Evil 4 VR.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Yeah, I haven't played that
Yeah, I
yet.
haven't played that one either. There's a lot of like really popular games I haven't played. I haven't even finished playing Half-Life Alyx yet. I should probably do that. But every time I play it, I always end up just like playing around with like cans and apples and stuff. Never actually progress. It takes me like forever to get through like a room in that game because I want to like mess with everything.
Yeah, because I know I've been asked a couple of times to uh, look into RE4 VR for accessibility and like how accessible is the game for people that have to play seated. Like I know it has a seated mode. That doesn't mean it's going to be accessible to a lot of people. You know, there's
Yeah.
more to it than just that. But
Yeah, what would you
but
say is
that will
something you see
come
that is like,
whenever I can afford it.
yeah. What would you say is something you think is something that you see is missing like in seated mode where like, they have it but it doesn't quite work right?
Um, if it like there are a lot of games that will have a seated mode, but then they're like, oh, you can um attach you have like a hip weapon. And it's like, is it gonna recognize that my chair has an armrest? Is it gonna recognize like for a wheelchair, for instance? Like I'm in just kind of a standard chair I got for like $10 last month. Um, but in a wheelchair, you got not only the armrest, but you also have the wheels. Is the game going to be able to tell where my hand is to be able to get the hip weapon or to put away the hip weapon? Is it going to be able to know that? And there's sometimes where the answer to that is no. And it's can definitely be a bummer, depending on what the game is. Um,
Yeah,
I
I can
think
see
the
that because I
only
know when I was
one,
playing Blade and Sorcery, I noticed to put it on my hip, I had to actually put the controller so close. I had to actually touch the controller to my hip for it to work, and I was like, that just works for me. Like if
yeah,
there was like a fat person
that
playing, they're not
would
gonna be able
not
to
be
get to
good.
there. They're not gonna be able to touch their
That would
to reach
not
their
be
hips.
good for a seated play. If you have to be that close, have your hand that close, it would not work out well. I don't think. Um, and I like the approach that after the fall kind of took with it because they're like, oh, you can put your weapons on the hip, but then they're like, oh, if you're playing in seated mode, you can still do that. You could adjust where the belt's at, or you can literally have it to where all you got to do is hold down the button and grab the gun, and then that's it.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So they did a good kind of workaround to it. Um, and that's actually brings me into one of the questions I actually wanted to ask you. In the demo, one of the scrolls that you get uh mentions that you if a weapon is sheathed that you can put it on your hip. Um is that part in the demo yet or no?
Yeah, so there is
Um
the sheath, and then once it's like incompletely, or in like, because you can only put the sheath on the hip, but the sword can be stored in it. So if you just try to put the sword like right there, like you do have to grab the sheath in one hand and then the sword in the other and like touch them. So that is something, even just from an accessibility standpoint, that some people were giving some feedback on. So that is something I kind of want to do, is add an option to make it so you don't have to physically pull it out, where you just kind of touch into it.
okay, okay.
Yeah, because right now you do have to kind of put in the tip, and then even some other people that don't have disability problems were having some trouble with that. So that's one of the things. It is kind of like hard because there's the people that actually use like swords and use and they're like, oh, this is great, it feels so real, and there's the other people that don't, and then they're like, this is so hard to use. So it's like, well,
Yeah.
who do I please? So that's why I think it's a lot of times important to put in options. So like you can use it this way, or you can use it this way. That's why I think is like
Yeah, yeah.
usually my favorite way to go. If you can't pick one or the other, just give the player the option. Let them decide.
Yes.
Yeah, 'cause that was what another feedback I got is for some people have a hard time like holding the grips for a long time. So the other thing I'm gonna be adding soon is the click to grip option. So like if you want to, you could hold the grips the whole time to hold the weapons and just release to let go of the weapons. But I'm gonna add like the click grip so you can just click it once and then
Oh, okay,
another
yeah.
click to release. Because yeah, not everyone can hold something like that for a long time.
Yeah, I can definitely understand that.
Yeah, it's a well, and that's what this thing is about too about VR is a lot of time the teams are like one or two people, so you may forget about things like that. I mean, it's perfectly. I mean, for me, I didn't even think about the left-handed thing till you had actually were the one that brought it up when I was asking you about control schemes. That's what gave me the idea to put the option to flip the thumbstick. Because I was like, well, everything's the same except the thumbstick, so let's just put the option like to flip that. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's just things like that. We have small teams. We don't have people that have like these issues. That have different like requirements, and even just beyond accessibility. Some people don't get motion sickness. Like that was something that I didn't have much accommodation for at first, but now I got like the vignette and stuff, which I wouldn't mind getting a little more feedback from motion sick
Yeah.
people, but on that. But yeah, sorry, what were you saying? Go ahead.
Um no, the other thing I was actually gonna talk about was you did I feel anyway that you did really good with the like you already essentially have subtitles in the game because you have the speech bubbles when uh when there's talking. And at least in my opinion, you did the font size really good. Like I would think that most people will be able to genuinely read it without a problem, which is good.
Thanks. Yeah. I think I picked a good font too. Like I remember their old demo, I tried to go with these letters that looked all Asian, and then people started playing. They're like, "What the hell does that even say?" And I'm like, "Okay, let's go with comic book letters instead of trying to make it look like Japanese letters that spell English words." Hey, we got a German Rifter in the chat and the VR chat channel.
Yo.
How's it going? But yeah, German Rifter saying it's good to see people talking about accessibility. Definitely needs to be highlighted more, which I agree because the more people that can enjoy VR, the more people come to it. The more it grows, the better it is for everyone, for the industry all around. I think.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. That's why I my bat going out in January may have taken me out for most of this year
Oh man,
so far, but now that I have this chair and everything, I'm going to try and get back into it as much as possible. Um, I still need to play a bit of Half-Life Alyx, and because I've had that sitting in my library since January, um, and start taking notes on that one for the accessibility. But and
it,
then yeah, I don't think I have any others that I need to test yet.
I'll be interested how that goes because I feel like in some ways Half-Life Alyx is kind of like the gold standard. I mean, a lot of my like controls and stuff were in based on Half-Life Alyx, and when I played it, that's what made me want to do the kind of physics gripping where it can kind of dynamically grab things, and then
Yeah,
also like the
yeah.
full body avatar. Like I copy a lot of stuff, but in a lot of ways too, it's pretty old in terms of VR. Like it was one of the first really big ones on Steam, so a lot of it has
The
changed since then.
one
So it has
thing,
aged a little bit.
yeah, I think the one thing because they don't let you go into all the like accessibility settings until you're in the game and playing it. So I just kind of quickly went into the menus and saw what I could. And the fact that they have an entire one hand mode set up where you can play Half-Life Alyx with every control you need on one controller. I don't even know how that's possible because I haven't played the game yet. But it's like it was still amazing to see though.
That's really
And I'm
cool because
gonna have
that's
to try
uh,
it.
yeah, that's one of the things on Oculus. They actually have a list of like accessibility things that they're saying, this is the checklist, and one of the things is like you should be able to play the game with one hand, which is not easy to accomplish. I know with Samurai Slaughterhouse, you could almost play it completely. I think you could. You would have to be able to physically turn yourself, or
Yeah.
or use both hands. If you had only one hand and you couldn't physically turn that, I think you might have a trouble. Cause, or I
I
guess you could
think the
use the
only
you
way
use the right
you
hand and
could
only teleport. I guess, but
I think the only way you could maybe do that is, and I know a lot of people would hate this, especially for VR, is basically put in like the. Do you remember legacy controls?
Legacy. I know Legacy XR. No, but
Um. Okay. Well, old. Actually, even newer console games still have it. Legacy controls basically meant you would walk forward and back and turn left and right
oh,
with
do
the
it
left
tank
analog
style.
stick. Yeah.
Do some tank styles
And
too. That'd be funny.
yeah, it's I mean you could do that, but
uh,
I don't know how well it would go.
I'll wait for someone to request it. If someone's really like, man, I only got one arm and like I can't turn it, and it's just like cannot play this, and then I'll add it. But I'll wait for that to happen
Yeah.
because there's a lot of conditions in VR's niche. So wait for it to be needed.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what else? Let's see. Well, have you played? I don't know if you're into Star Trek. Have you played the Bridge Crew game? That one's pretty fun, I think.
No, I do believe I have it on Steam, but I haven't messed with it.
That one's pretty fun if you can get like a team together. It really feels like you're there, like on the starship. What's cool is like you can. I mean, I guess it would be like that in any VR game, but you can look over, you see other people like all touching the controls and stuff, because all the controls are all like touch. Like you have to manually like move these like switches and stuff. It's pretty crazy when you play because there's different ships, and there's one that's like the original one from like the original '60s show, and oh
Yeah.
man, it's just like they made it look just like it is in the show. So it's just a bunch of like square buttons and like dials and stuff. It's so ridiculous. Let's see. VR chat sounds for things like the 3D rudder help too, but they folded a couple years ago. I haven't heard of like a 3D rudder. That would be interesting. I'm guessing it's like some kind of foot pedal or something. I mean, that's what a rudder is, right? That you would use. Yeah, the
Yeah,
VR
there
chat
is
channel say it would be
definitely
great to have people with different needs on, so we can like kind of get different perspectives. Yeah, I agree. Definitely, we
yeah.
may do that too if we find other people who have different accessibility needs, just get different perspectives. Because I mean, like I was saying, even beyond accessibility, just on the average person, that everyone has different needs. Some people get motion sickness. Some people are left-handed. Um, different things like that. So I think it's nice to give people different options for to play. I remember when I play Ark, like Survival Evolved. That's one of my favorite games. And one of the things I thought was cool is they let you like if you're playing on your own single server, you can like increase harvesting speed and like dinosaur taming speed. So you can basically
Yeah.
like cheat however you want, like and just play the game how you want. Like if you want it to be harder, you can make it harder. If you don't like being stuck in your hut all night, you can make the night shorter. And I just kind of like that. Like I think that's like a good thing for games that you just put it in the players' hands and let them enjoy it.
Yeah, Ark's fun. I have memories just of when that game first came out. I had like the randomly in the middle of the afternoon would get a terrified message from a friend of mine. It should be like a dino is eating our house. And I'd
uh,
have to like hurry up and log on. Dinosaur like had already eaten half of the house. She was stuck up in the top floor.
oh man, like I loved it, but Man, playing on public servers is the worst. You try, you just like the most, the annoying person just finds your base, and then from there it's just over because you could kill them, but they just keep coming back to your same base as
Yeah.
theirs. So I think it's like, I mean, I don't know if there's ever really a solution to it, but it is kind of a flawed system. That's why I just play it on private servers now. I'm like, I don't mind if like a crazy like T-Rex or Spinosaurus messes me up, but like for a person, because you kill them or you run away, but if a person wants to annoy you, like they could just keep annoying you. It's the worst.
Oh yeah.
It's a good one. Yeah, I love Ark. Minecraft too. Like Minecraft. Oh, that's a fun one.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are really good games. They had VR support in Arc for a while, but then they removed it unfortunately, which I heard
Oh
it was
wow.
pretty cool. Yeah, they had it. It was official too and everything, and people were saying
Hmm.
like it was pretty intense. They're like, now I feel like I'm really trying to survive playing here.
Yeah, you'd really be in terror of that T-Rex running at you.
I know. Oh man, remember when they added the because I was playing it too for like a long time since it was like an early access and like the ragdolls would get all super stretched, like noodly all thin everywhere.
Yeah.
But I remember they added that one dinosaur that can like that puts you to sleep when it bites you. That thing was the worst, man. Like especially if you're like a
Oh, I
solo
don't
player,
remember that
because
one.
yeah, they added it. It wasn't in the game for a long time, but then they added it, and it was even like in some of the little mountain areas near the beach, like the beginning areas, and like and I don't know, maybe they patched it and moved it because it was like the most annoying like dinosaur. Like it would put you to sleep, and because you're asleep, there's nothing you could do. So unless you're playing with multiple people, like it's basically a death sentence if that thing sees you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Oh
was nice.
man.
Oh man. Well, yeah, looks like we got about 8 minutes left because Zoom. Oh shoot, what happened, Zoom? Why are you doing that to me? There we go. All right. So Zoom
But
says we got
yeah.
about 7 minutes, so start wrapping it up soon. But did you have anything you want to say? Any message you want to get out? Anything?
Um. Not really. I am gonna be trying. Probably with. I'm gonna try next month, but that's just if the stuff with our car isn't as crazy. I'm gonna try and get my video editing software subscription going again, and hopefully I can start doing overview videos again. But um,
Have you ever used
and then yeah,
Video
I'll
Pro
just
X? Because that's on they have that on pops up on Humble Bundle sometimes. If I have an extra key, I'll send you one. But that's what I use for editing, and it's pretty good. I get all my stuff from Humble Bundle. You get like a
wait. What
thousand.
what's it called?
Have your Humble Bundle or Video Pro X is the software I use.
Oh yeah, I never heard of that software.
A Video Pro X. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
a video editing. That's what I use for making all my trailers. But yeah, I picked it up on a Humble Bundle with some music editing software and stuff.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, I'll look through. If I have an extra key, I'll send it over to you. But yeah, it's pretty good. And if it ever pops up on Humble Bundle again, I'll definitely recommend people getting it because I like it. Uh,
Cool.
but yeah, and you're gonna start doing YouTube. You got a YouTube channel, right? You want to like plug that? That's like
Yeah, it's oh man, what is it? It's the youtube.com/c/duty does, I think.
yeah. Well, it puts the C
Uh
there. You don't have to put that in though. Like
oh,
it'll
you
buy.
don't? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so check out
Um
check out his YouTube. Duty does. What do you do on there? You play video games and talk about accessibility.
I'm gonna try and start doing maybe some streams on there just so it has more because video overviews don't happen as much. It just depends on if I get a game key from a dev or if I have the money to go out and buy a VR game to test. Um, so yeah, I'll probably start doing some streams on it and stuff like that.
Nice. Yeah, I kind of want to do some gameplay streams here randomly, but yeah. And then for my plugs, I got my Patreon, patreon.com/tabgames down there. And I'm pointing at it. And then you can always follow me Twitter tabgames3. And then of course the game Samurai Slaughterhouse is available on itch.io and also through SideQuest. We got the free demo and then also the full game you could buy. It's $30, but if that's a lot, you can also join the Patreon for $5 a month. You'll get access to the game right away, and then once you hit $30, I'll send you a key, so you can keep it, keep getting access to the latest updates without having to stay subscribed. Um, and other than that, I just want to give some shout outs. Let's see. We got a ton of shout outs too. So just shout out to the people over at Barbaria, the developers. Their game is on the Oculus store right now, just the PC one, and coming to Steam soon. Don't know when, probably a few weeks. Shout out to the Beers and Boomerangs developers. They're making a game about throwing boomerangs at kangaroos that steal your beer. Lots of fun. And yeah, and then shout out to Mr. Survivor. He just popped in. Say hi to him. He's made a couple Samurai Slaughterhouse videos. And yeah, I think that's it. You got anyone you want to shout out to before we run out of
Um,
Zoom time?
I see the VR chat channel mentioning a walk-in VR, and I want to say yes. That is free, and I haven't messed with it fully, but you can do stuff like adjust your height. Simple hand motion can turn you around. You could have somebody take a Xbox controller and like help you adjust like your height or crouch or do this or that. So definitely, if that is needed by anyone that sees this, go do that. Or OVR advanced settings is also free, and you can like set up a height toggle and all that stuff in that too. So yes,
Nice.
I saw that and I needed to say it.
Good stuff. Good tools. Good to get to know how to use. Good to know that's out there available for people. See. Who else we got? And then oh my god, this auto like center thing keeps moving the camera. But yeah, it was definitely a good chat, a good stream. I had fun. Uh, what do we got? We got 2 minutes. Anything? Oh, another quick plug I want to say. I do have my music is on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes. So if you do like the music from Samurai Slaughterhouse, just search. Oh, it's either Tab Games or Tab Music. I forget what I put it under. Maybe Tab Games, but just search for that. Either of those, one of those two phrases on any of your favorite music channels. You can add that onto there, and I may make a few more pennies from my music. I'm not counting on it, but these people, it's out there for people to listen to. Yeah, you barely get anything from streaming music, in case anyone's wondering. Let's see. All right, I
I'm
think
like just reading the chat.
I know.
Hmm.
Got you a VR chat channel. Let's see. Thanks. Yeah, well, I don't know. It depends on the teams. Like I was saying that there's different like tools and stuff, but we got less than 1 minute. But I would say, it's understandable. Not some VR teams, they're small. They can't all do like accessibility, but whatever you can, whatever's reasonable. Just the more people that can play your game, the better. So I would say, just put some thought into it. Look what's out there. Oculus has good resources for developers. So if you just need tips on what to do, not everyone can put everything in their game, but there are some good steps you could
Yeah,
take just to make sure as many people as can play your game.
yeah,
Any
definitely.
any last closing remarks?
Nope.
Does everyone have a what day is it? Thursday? Hey, everyone have a good weekend. Oh, I guess we lost them. All right. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in and excuse me, pounded this beer. We'll have to do this again soon. So yeah, have a good week. We'll definitely have another live stream on too with some more guests.